The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment. You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the stat boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D-18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show.
Hello, my internet fans. Welcome to another episode of Stat Boys Sports Bar for February 13th, 2024. Hope you're all having a great, wonderful Tuesday afternoon, late evening, depending on where you are watching us on YouTube and all our social media platforms. I'm running solo today. Dory Lou's got a case of the yuckies, but she's okay. Don't worry. She's all worn out from all the Super Bowl excitement and everything, but everything is A-okay in the Sevierville secondary studio. As always, I am grateful to all the fans who put their comments in, but remember, as always, to get my attention and to get me to stop what I'm talking about, super chat, super chat, super chat. It's as simple as that. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get started with our normal lineup as we always do. We start with probably the world's most oldest sport, which is a stat I have not yet confirmed yet, PGA golf. The WM Phoenix Open took place in Scottsdale, Arizona at the TPC Scottsdale Links, and there is your 2023-2024 winner. 2024 winner, because the 2023 season was last season. Nick Taylor is his name, and this report comes directly from PGA.com. Nick Taylor had an emotional victory last year in the RBC Canadian Open. 5-year-old Canadian made more memories at the WM Phoenix Open with a massive rally to take down Charlie Hoffman. Taylor rallied from 3 down with 4 holes left in regulation and made an 11-foot birdie putt to beat Hoffman on the second hole of a playoff, capping another wild week at the WM Phoenix Open. Quote, "The finish was pretty dreamlike, and hitting all those putts was a lot of fun," Taylor said. "The atmosphere was incredible all week." A little bit too much fun, actually, as there is a little bit of news coming out of TPC Scottsdale. Apparently, and this did take place, the fans on hole 16, which is being referred to as the party hole, in social media world is known for, let's just say, the fans are getting a little too involved. Now, problem number one, there were some alcohol-related incidents at that particular hole of the course. Problem number one, I don't believe that when going to a golfing event, I don't think alcohol should be there. You go to a ball game, a baseball game, there's beer. You go to a football game, there's beer. You go to a basketball game, there's beer. You go to a hockey game, there's beer in the arena. The golf course is an outdoor event. And of course, there's that good old-fashioned law, public intoxication. But golf courses are private places, so they make their own rules. So that's just my opinion, and of course, this opinion is my own. I should be running the banner on this one. I do apologize, but I am not. Hello, Pop. I see you there. Greetings from Pop. Love you, Pop. And so that's my first small little problem. Alcohol at the golf course. Now, second, there was overcrowding at the golf course. There was a reported 200,000 spectators. Now, that would be, unless I got my stat wrong, which, let's face it, I could be. Depending on the size of the course, there could be that many people. But the people at TPC at Scottsdale determined that they needed to not let people come in due to overcrowding. So there were too many people involved. That's understandable. Capacity. Even though you're at an outdoor event or an outdoor arena, you still got to be able to get out safely. So they cut people off. Now, with all those people and all that alcohol, a few fans got a little bit too unruly with two of the golfers. One being, and let me see if I can quickly bring up my notes. I should have been prepared on that. I do apologize. Let me bring that up right quick. Where is my notes? I want to get their names correct. I did have a graphic for this. I just didn't get a chance to put it in the lineup. Okay. Billy Horschel and Zach Johnson. They were two players on the golf course. And of course, the fans were heckling the golfers. Now, in golf, there is a legitimate person, and you'll see this on any televised golf course. There is a person who is hired by either the golf course or by the PGA. He has a sign that says "Quiet, please." This is to respect the golfer so he does not get distracted in his swing. He wants to focus in that position. He wants to bring his club all the way back. He wants to hit the ball properly, and he wants to follow through. He needs the utmost concentration, and most of all, he needs quiet. Now, there are some possible distractions. For example, the media, the photographers, their cameras click. There is a clip of, I do believe, Tiger Woods, the greatest golfer of all time, yelling at the media. As soon as he swings back, click, 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 you hear it. So the gentleman there is putting the sign up saying, "Be quiet." You hear the whoosh of the club. The club makes contact. The ball goes flying. So then you can cheer all you want. As long as the ball is in flight, make a lot of noise. However, sometimes, and what happened in Scottsdale, the fans are jeering the golfer as he is making his swing. He tried to play it out. He swung. The ball probably went bad. As he was walking along the fairway, first off, let me get his name right again. Billy Horschel decided to, or maybe even Zach Johnson did this first, he decided to confront the fans. He probably did that on his own accord. But the way he did it and his exact words without using, well, he didn't use the profanity, but Billy Horschel did. And this is all on YouTube. You will find it. Zach Johnson came up to the fans and he's like, "I'm sick of it. Just shut up." Those were his words, flat out. Billy Horschel was defending another player, and he let the fans know by saying, quote, "Buddy, when he's over the shot," meaning his club is up, "shut the hell up." His exact words. It is quoted and it is said. He's trying to hit a damn golf shot here. It's our effing job. On YouTube, it is not censored. He does drop the F-bomb. So now the people at TPC Scottsdale are looking to alter their regulations about letting people in, and also they are deciding to suspend alcohol sales, which I agree with. Again, I don't believe alcohol should be at a golf course. That's just me. Any other event, as long as it's sold and consumed responsibly, it's okay. If you're, if you can't handle your liquor or you drink too much, then it kind of falls on you, not the person who sold it. It falls on you because you're the one drinking it. Bottom line, overall, yes, everybody has their First Amendment rights to say whatever they want. But if they're under the influence of alcohol and that's going to be their defense, hey, I was drunk. I didn't know what I was. Come on, you had to have some intelligence in the back of your head. Let the players do their job. They're trying to provide for their family just as much as the next golfer is by making a lot of money. Respect them. You're entitled to your opinions. That is true. But don't disrespect them because of alcohol use. It's not worth it, because then you're going to go viral for all the wrong reasons. You're going to disrespect the fans. You're going to disrespect other fans. You're going to be disrespected by the players. And then it gets ruined for everybody else, because there are people in the world that like to relax on a golf course and have a drink. Now they can't do that because of some guys coming in and basically ruining it for everybody. Also, a woman did get injured from, I believe, the stands. The report is, I believe she fell out of the stands, probably due to the overcrowding, but she is okay. Again, I don't have all the information on that. So again, bottom line, you have your opinion, but be ready for the backlash being a player coming up and getting in your face like that. Overall, the top 10 is still being worked on, and I do not have that information. I do apologize for that. Moving on to tennis. There were 3 tournaments this past weekend, and we had the Dallas Open winner in Dallas, Texas. Winner was Tommy Paul. Over in Marseille, France, the Open 13 province, won by Hugo Humbert. And the Cordoba Open in Cordoba, Argentina. The winner was Luciano Darderi. As I bring up some stats and some stories so we can get through tennis A-OK. Let's see what we got here. Let's go to the Cordoba Open first. And I'll give you a quick little history lesson on Luciano Dardi, who is from, let's see, where is he from? He is Italian. He's a right-handed player. He is 21 years old. He turned pro this year, I believe. And let's see if I can bring up, that's a video. I don't want a video. Luckily, it's a muted video, so that's okay. Do I have the notes on that? I don't believe that I do. Well, I do apologize for that. I should have been a little bit more prepared on that one. Over on the women's side, in the Abu Dhabi Open, in the Abu Dhabi United Arab Emirates, Elena Rybakina won that tournament there. And in the Transylvania Open, where they don't say blah, 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 in Cluj-Napoca, Romania, Carolina Pliskova won that tournament as well. Again, the top tens are being worked on as I want to get them just right to show them properly. Yeah, you're right on that one. Sure, I think I can call myself out on that one. He's not wrong. Should have been a little bit more prepared, so this one is well deserved.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Mikey!
See, even I call myself out under the suggestion of my brother. So see, even I screw up all the time. Not all the time, just some of the time. Moving on to also the ladies golfers, they are still getting ready for their tournament in Thailand coming up in 2 weeks. And again, the top tens are still being worked on. So now we move to motorsports, and NASCAR is coming up, and we have the Daytona 500 this weekend. It marks the start of the 2024 season. Now, there's going to be a little pre-race festivities. It's going to be the Bluegrass Vacation Duels. Now, normally in NASCAR, obviously, they practice on the track. They have a round of qualifying. The fastest car gets the pole. The pole starts the race. However, since it's opening weekend, each racer is going to get one lap, only one chance to get a fast enough time to have the coveted starting position for the Daytona 500. You only get one lap. It's a 2.5 mile track, so you really gotta, as long as you make your turns, you'll be good to go. The top 10 advance to a second round of qualifying. With the top 2, they are the coveted 1 and 2 spots. The driver on the inside of the track is the pole. Outside is outside. They have to go further because that's just the way the track is built. The remaining spots in the starting grid will be determined by the results from the 2 Bluegrass Vacation Duels. They consist of 2 150-mile qualifying races that set positions 3rd through 40th in the Daytona 500. Each duel will be 60 laps long. Lineups for each duel are set from Tuesday night's single-car qualifying session, with drivers finishing in an odd position on the speed chart. 1st, 3rd, and 5th, they'll be lining up for Duel 1, and those from an even position, 2nd, 4th, and 6th in the second race. Then we come back to the actual Daytona 500. They line up, the green flag flies, and around they go for 500 miles. Of course, in NASCAR, you go by stages. The winner of the stage gets 10 playoff points. The top 10 goes all the way down. So winner gets 10, 10th gets 1 point. Then we go on to stage 2, 10 more points. Then we go on to the final stage, which is stage 3. There is a race that has 4 stages. It's all about points. The winner of the race gets 40 big points and is the number 1 racer for the standings. Then at the end of the season, the top 16 racers make the playoffs. If you have known, as loyal fans of the Stat Boy Sports Bar, we are Team RCR. We are Team Richard Childress Racing. Of course, Dory Lou's favorite driver is number 3, Austin Dillon. He is teammates, of course, with we're not going to bash him this season, not anymore. I'm going to make that call. I've picked on Kyle Busch enough. I am not going to bash him. I will only report bad things if he does bad things. But unfortunately, he gets a clean slate and he has a clean track ahead of him. Looking at the season previews for all the teams, those start to come out. Let's see here. View the full release schedule below. So let's take a look and see. Let's take a look at RCR here. I am on NASCAR.com. Let's see what we got here. RCR Racing. This is from NASCAR.com. Manufacturers are Chevrolet with Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch. It's just the two of them. They're only a two-person team. In 2023, Austin Dillon did not have a good season. He ended up 29th overall. He did not win one single race. He did get a top 5 finish and 7 top 10s. According to DraftKings, his odds of making the championship or winning it are 130 to 1. So it'd be a good payout. And Kyle Busch, this will be his 20th season in the NASCAR Cup Series. In 2023, he finished 14th. He did win 3 races. He had 10 top 5s and 17 top 10s, and he did win a pole. His odds to win the championship are 12 to 1. Let's take a look at another one. Let's take a look at, who can we take a look at next? What's another big, let's go with, the Kings, Hendrick Motorsports. Oh my goodness, look at all those guys in Hendricks. They are Chevrolet as well. Kyle Larson, number 5. Chase Elliott, number 9. William Byron, number 24. Alex Bowman, number 48. Let's go racer by racer here, and let's see. With Kyle Larson, this will be his 11th season. He was 2nd place overall. He did make it to the Final 4 last season with 4 wins, 15 top 5s, 18 top 10s, and 2 poles. His odds to win are 11 and 2. His team partner, Chase Elliott, who I did like last season as well. I did claim the Chase Elliott bandwagon. This is his 9th season. He only finished 17th in final standings without getting any wins. He had 7 top 5s and 15 top 10s. His odds are 17 and 2. William Byron got 3rd overall last season with 6 wins, 15 top 5s, 21 top 10s, and 4 poles. 11 and 2 are his odds. And Alex Bowman is in his 9th season. He took 20th overall. Each week, of course, we're going to report what happens in each race. Is the Hendricks mascot a polar bear? Good question. I need to look that up. I think so. And of course, again, as Renegade says, remember how we make our money? Super chat, super chat, super chat. Good question if that's a polar bear. I really have to look at that one. So each week, we'll not just in the Cup Series, but also in the Craftsman Truck Series and the Xfinity Series, we will report on the top 10s, and we will let you know how the standings go. It all starts this weekend in Daytona. All righty. Let's see what's on tap next. And that would be college basketball. So we'll just go over to here and we'll bring up college basketball. We are in week 14. March Madness is 1 month away. On March 17th is when the selection special takes place. UConn, the Huskies, and Purdue are still your top 2 teams. No changes there. Houston goes up 2. Marquette goes up 3. Arizona goes up 3. Kansas drops 2. The Tar Heels drop 4. Our residential team, the Tennessee Vols, they dropped 2 spots. Duke stays put and is in the top 10 at number 9. Iowa State drops 4. South Carolina goes up 4 to the 11th spot. Baylor stays put. Auburn drops 1 spot. Illinois drops 4. And the Alabama Crimson Tide are now in the top 15. They are starting to creep up. Dayton gets up 2 spots. Creighton gets up 2 spots. St. Mary's is brand new to the top 25 this week. BYU moves up 2 spots. Wisconsin, with the roller coaster drop, drops 9. Virginia is new to the top 25. Kentucky drops 5. Indiana State is new. Florida Atlantic drops 4. And Oklahoma, the Sooners, are new to this week's top 25. With the women, South Carolina again remains the top spot, but now the Ohio State are number 2 as they move up 3 spots. Stanford also moves up 3 spots. Iowa drops 2. Texas moves up 2. North Carolina State drops 3. Kansas State up a spot. Colorado drops 4. The rivalry teams, UCLA and USA, stay put for 2 weeks in a row, with UCLA having the edge. Oregon State goes up 6. Virginia Tech drops 4. LSU and Indiana stay put where they are. UConn drops 4. Notre Dame drops 4. Gonzaga goes up 2. Louisville drops 3. Syracuse goes up 4. Creighton goes up 1. Baylor drops 3. Utah drops 2. Oklahoma goes up 1. West Virginia drops 2. And new to the list is Princeton. Again, the playoff selection for March Madness is on March 17th. So there's one more month. I think there's 2 weeks, if not a little bit shorter, because prior to the big tournament, there are tons of smaller tournaments. These are your division tournaments like the Pac-12, the Big Ten, the ACC. All these smaller tournaments will help the teams get into the bigger tournament, which of course is up to 68 teams. There are 4 teams that still have to play another game just to get into the starting 64. Then it's your standard four tournaments of 16 each. All righty, friends. Before we go into hockey and the NBA, no, let's do the NBA. Let's talk about basketball. Then we'll take a break. All righty, NBA power rankings for this week. As the Boston Celtics are still the number 1 team for 9 weeks now. They have been on top. They are just so dominant at 41-12. Minnesota Timberwolves take over the second spot at 37-16. They move up 1 spot. They're about 5 games behind to try and take over Boston as the number 1 spot. But Boston is they're just making baskets left and right. Oklahoma City Thunder drop a spot as they switch spots with the Timberwolves. The Denver Nuggets stay put in spot number 4 at 36-18. The LA Clippers are at 35-17, and they are tied with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that rounds out column 1. The Milwaukee Bucks, they've been doing well, but they've slipped a tiny little bit. They are now atop column 2. Knicks are at 33-21. Philadelphia is at 32-21. Both those teams stay put. The New Orleans Pelicans are at 32-22. They go up 2 spots. Excuse me. The Phoenix Suns stay put at 31-22, and the Mavericks are at 31-23. The Sacramento Kings are at 30-22 at the top of column 3. They moved up 3 spots as the Indiana Pacers dropped 1. They're down to 30-25. They're still above 500. They're okay. The Orlando Magic are at 29-24. They've stayed put for 3 weeks. The Miami Heat are at 28-25. And the LA Lakers are at 28-26. Golden State Warriors round out column 3 and is the last team to be above 500 as they moved out of column 4 and moved into column 3. The Utah Jazz are at 26-28. They are tied with the Bulls, but they have a higher points per game average at 117. They only dropped a spot, so that's okay. The Bulls stay put at 3 weeks. Houston is at 24-29. Atlanta's at 24-30. They stay put for the past month, along with the Brooklyn Nets. And the Toronto Raptors are now out of column 5. They move into column 4. The Grizzlies are at column 5. The remaining teams, Portland, Charlotte, San Antonio, Washington, and Detroit, no movement whatsoever. And of course, the big story again, Detroit at 14 weeks, still at the bottom of the barrel. Now, what does this all mean? It's almost playoff time. It's getting closer and closer. There are 10 available spots in each conference. The playoff structure is that the top 10 teams qualify. The top 6 in each conference are guaranteed spots. Those six teams in the East and the West, they are locked in. 7, 8, 9, and 10, they're going to play a smaller 4-team tournament. I believe it's 7 plays 10, 8 plays 9. The winners of those games continue on to make it an official 8 tournament. Next week will be we'll start tracking the playoffs. This week, however, the NBA is getting ready to do All-Star break. And something that's coming up for All-Star break is a special 3-point challenge between Stephen Curry, and let me bring up her name correctly. I want to pronounce it correctly. 3-point contest. Sabrina Ionescu, Ionescu. She is the top 3-point shooter in the WNBA. Steph Curry and his 3-pointers are legendary. Every time you see Steph Curry with the ball, more than likely he's going to shoot a 3-pointer. In fact, it's rumored that he could hit 100 3-pointers in a row, which is well documented. But during the NBA All-Star break, of course, they have the 3-point contest. And the 3-point contest is legendary in its own right. Basically, you make as many 3-pointers as you can within 45 seconds. It's also featured on Wii Sports and at the last 2 theme parks I've worked at. We've had a 3-point challenge. So as long as they make 3-pointers, there's 5 baskets on each rack. The last basketball is the money ball. It's worth double. And all you got to do is shoot. So there's going to be a merger between the WNBA and the NBA. We'll see. You could say it's a battle of the sexes if you want, because if you remember a long time ago, Billie Jean King played tennis against John McEnroe. Who's better? Who's better shooting 3-pointers, a guy or a girl? Pick one. You got a 50-50 shot. And remember, I have always said in life, ladies can do anything as good as a man can. You've got lady cops. You've got lady soldiers. You've got lady high-ranking officials. There is no men are better than women anymore. You can't say that anymore. 1, because it's disrespectful, and 2, in some cases, it's true. There are plenty of cases where women can do a lot of things as good as the guys can, and they prove it. Now, the NBA is showcasing this. Can Sabrina beat Stephen? I keep wanting to call him Steve, even though it's Stephen. We're going to find out during All-Star break which one can shoot more 3-pointers. I don't know much about her. I need to do my homework on her. But hey, if she wins, guess what? Women's sports and whatever women can do even higher than before. Good luck to both players. All right, before we get into hockey, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to play a well-known and slowly becoming a popular trailer here in the multiverse. It's the Gary Hebert 1 in a Million, and then we'll talk about hockey. We'll be right back.
Gary Hebert, the man, the myth, the legend. I was amazed, and I was looking to become a better skater myself, and I wanted to be like Gary.
When you look at a guy like this, he's one of the most talented people in his profession. He's been given gifts by God.
It can get frustrating at times when you're trying things that maybe don't come as quickly to you as other things. And, you never really felt that sense of frustration with Gary. It was always about improvement and positive reinforcement.
Was it really the end? Was that head injury really the end? God has called Gary to continue to be a blessing to others and to be a passionate example.
My name is Gary Hebert. This is the World Academy of Hockey, otherwise known as the Inside Edge.
I would recommend anybody that have a chance to come to his hockey school. I think it'd be well worth it. It'd be rewarding to all the kids and anyone he coaches, from whether it's an adult, a professional player, to a little kid like a Mike or a Squirt.
Gary, from day one, has been instrumental to my hockey career. I started out as a potential Division III player, and Gary brought me single-handedly through high school and into a top Division I prospect. I owe it all to Gary, the biggest legend on and off ice there's ever been.
Listen, watch, learn, be confident, and have faith. Those are the answers I was brought to. Yet, I only now am really learning how truly important those 5 things are.
Through preparation, through appropriate thoughtfulness and thinking, we can learn to untie the typical knots between our ears that drive us into underachievement and underperformance. And lo and behold, we can learn things to fulfill our God-given potential.
Gary has the innate ability to make people not only better players, but better people. The life lessons they learn from Gary are incredible.
You can always remember leaving that rink knowing as a player I got better or I had something to improve on to get better. And I think that's what you excelled on as a coach, is giving us the knowledge to know what we needed to do to get better.
There's coaches who know the game, but can you communicate and create passion in your kids and in your players? And Gary's able to do that.
Gary's got great knowledge and the great hands, but more importantly, his ability to connect with people and care for them. His communication skills, to me, really stand out and separate him, and that's why he's one of the best, in the world.
Gary's a legend. He's a special, special man.
Indeed, he is a special, special man, and we again thank him for allowing us to show that documentary on there. Renegade saying the Pistons playing like the Lions usually do. Well, at least the Lions got to the playoffs this year. I mean, they have each season they've gotten better and better. The Pistons have not gotten better at all. The Pistons are probably going to be the first team to be eliminated this season. It's inevitable, like Thanos. All righty, let's talk about hockey. Unfortunately, though, the ladies did not play this week. I guess they are on a bit of a break as well. So the playoff standings are the same from the last week. I did not upload them, but that's okay. I do apologize, but I just didn't see the need for it. But now that I think about it, I should have. Anyway, that falls on me. But I also believe that their season is getting close to an end. In the meantime, let's take a look at what's going on with the guys in the NHL. The Vancouver Canucks remain at the top spot at 76 points for the past 5 weeks. And right on their heels are the Boston Bruins at 73. The Rangers move up 3 spots to 71. And the Florida Panthers and the Dallas Stars stay put at 70. The Colorado Avalanche drop 3 spots. The Golden Knights move up a spot, and the Jets drop a spot. So the Knights and the Jets switch positions. The Hurricanes stay put at the top of column 2 at 65 points. The Flyers move up 4 spots at the top of column 2 at 64. The Oilers and the Lightning are at 61. They both dropped a spot. The Red Wings are at 60. They moved up a spot. The Maple Leafs drop a spot. They are tied with the Red Wings, but of course the Red Wings have the better record. St. Louis and LA are tied at 58. This, I think, is almost the lowest that the Kings have been in. I don't want to see them drop out of column 2. Nashville Predators stay put at the top of column 3 at 56 points for the past 2 weeks. The Devils are tied with the Predators. They moved up 2 spots, and the Islanders are tied as well. All teams have 56 points, but the Predators have the best record. The Flames are at 55 points. They moved up 4 spots. The Capitals are up 54 points. And here's the big jump by the Minnesota Wild, who have won 3 games in a row. And after we take the rankings down, I have a story to share about the Wild. Penguins drop 2. Kraken drop 5. That's almost a roller coaster drop. Usually I call the roller coaster drops around 6 or at 7, but this one was pretty darn close. Arizona at column 4 at 50 points. Montreal stays put at 50 points as well at 4 weeks. Buffalo at 48. Ottawa at 44. Columbus at 42. My Ducks at 38. Sharks at 33. and the Blackhawks at 30. All right. Now, last night, as I was watching hockey, on a rare moment that I did get to watch hockey, the Minnesota Wild played the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, one of the disadvantages of living on the East Coast is that games start at 10 o'clock, 7 o'clock Pacific on the West. So, and the game will not end until midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. So, as we were doing our errands for the day, I talked with Dory Lou. I said, hey, the Wild are playing the Knights. And we all know how dominant the Knights are. I mean, let's face it, they've been in the playoffs 4 out of 5 years, winning the Stanley Cup, or 5 out of 6. Either way, they've only missed the playoffs once. I gave a small advantage to the Wild because of their momentum, saying, hey, they've won 2 in a row. They might have a chance to win tonight. Dory Lou said otherwise, which triggered me to put together a stat sheet, which I did. Luckily, since the Knights have only been around for 6 seasons, it was easy to go into the database at ESPN.com and find out how many times the Knights have played the Wild. Last night was their 30th matchup overall. Before playing, the Wild had a very slight chance, 15-14, of defeating the Golden Knights. They had won 15 times. They had lost 14 times. And also, the Knights defeated the Wild in the first round of the 2021-2022 season, which was altered due to COVID-19. So they actually knocked them out. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, it doesn't matter how many times they won. The more important thing is the Wild knocked out the Knights. But Dory Lou always teaches us to be positive, which is one of the traits I love in her. So I figured, hey, if they've got a slight enough edge, it's just enough for the win. In the first 10 minutes of the first period, or literally as I was finishing up the stat sheet, 22 seconds into the game, the Knights score the first goal, 1-0. Oh my gosh, danger, Will Robinson, danger, Will Robinson. The Knights show their dominance. Well, that dominance might have turned into arrogance, which turned into bad hockey playing, because the Knights then got dinged for 3 penalties in 2 minutes, which gave the Wild the 5-on-3 advantage. Excellent opportunity to score a goal. The problem was the puck just wasn't going in anywhere. Left and right and off and this and that. When it's 5-on-3, your chances go almost astronomical that you're going to score a goal. But it took one of the Knights having to break their stick. So technically, you could say that's 5-on-2.5 if you really want to be technical about it. And finally, the Wild score. They scored again just as the other power play was ending. It ended up 2-2 for the majority of the game until the third period, when the Wild opened up everything and ended up winning. And they beat the Knights, which gives them now a 3-game win streak, which also boosted them up into column 3 and gives them momentum now as they go and play Arizona in a couple days. So just a good little story to tell about. On the Statboard 9000 are the updated playoff. It's the updated playoff picture. This will be turned into a graphic by next week. I do apologize that it is a little bit too hard to see. Even if I move out of the way, it is too far away. But last week, when I presented how the playoff structure took place, it was wrong. Normally, what I've done for the past 3 or 4 seasons is I go by conference. That's not how it works. It's not by conference. It's by division. So if you can barely see on the top of the Statboard 9000, there are 4 groups of 3. The structure is the top 3 teams in each division, Atlantic, Metropolitan, Central, and Pacific. Those 3 teams are guaranteed to be locked in. The remaining 2 teams from both the divisions combined, at this point you could say conference, The next two teams are your wild card teams. Everybody else below that solid red line, they are in the hunt. Those are the ones you need to worry about. So if the playoffs started today, on the top of the Atlantic Division are the Boston Bruins at 73 points. On top of the Metropolitan Division, the New York Rangers at 71. In the Central Division, it's the Dallas Stars at 70. And in the Pacific Division, it's the Vancouver Canucks. So those are your number one leaders right now. The number two teams from left to right are Florida, Carolina, Colorado, and Vegas, the defending champions. Number three, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, Winnipeg, Edmonton. So right now, those teams would be locked in if the playoffs started today. The four wild cards, two from each conference, Toronto and Detroit, both in the Atlantic Division. A division can send 5 teams if it works out that way, whereas the other division would only send 3. Realistically, you want 4 and 4, but that might not happen. In the West, right now, it's the Kings and the Blues. They both have 58 points. The reason Los Angeles is currently ranked higher is the number one rule in tiebreakers. The team that has played less gets a higher rank. Now, when all the teams have played all 82 games, the next tiebreaker comes in. Whichever team has the most wins combined in regulation and overtime, shootouts don't count, that team gets the higher rank. There are furthermore tiebreakers that I can discuss at a later time. So right now, the Kings and the Blues, they are above the red line. Going down the list, the next 4 teams in the East on the are all from the Metropolitan Division: the Devils, the Islanders, the Capitals, and the Penguins. The Devils and the Islanders are at 56 points. The Capitals are at 54. The Penguins are at 53. The next 3 teams are from the Atlantic Division: the Canadiens, the Sabres, and the Senators at 50, 48, and 44. The team on the bottom is the Columbus Blue Jackets. Again, this will be a graphic next week, I promise. They are at 42 points, and they are the first team of being eliminated. Now, how do you eliminate a team in the playoffs? By not being able to score enough points to get to the playoffs. Right now, there's a tie between the Maple Leafs and the Red Wings at 60 points. The Blue Jackets are at 42 points. The Blue Jackets only have 31 games left in the season, meaning they have the potentiality of scoring 62 possible points if by some astronomical chance they win every single game from now to the end of the season. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? Probably not. To have a 32-game winning streak hasn't been heard of in a long time. So the most points that the Blue Jackets can win or can earn in a season is 104. Detroit or Toronto, now that they are tied, each have 60 points. For them to guarantee that Columbus cannot get into the playoffs, they would then have to have 105 points or 104 points if they have more regular overtime wins. So they currently have 60. 105 is the number to earn. 105 minus 60 is 45 points. So you take that number 45, you divide it in half, because a win is 2 points and a tie or losing in overtime is 1 point. You cannot have half a game. So at 23 games, Columbus will be eliminated. Meaning, right now, if Toronto and Detroit win 23 games, or the combination of Columbus losing 23 games, they can't get any more points out of it. They're done. But it's a combination of 2. So you could cut that in half and say, well, if Detroit wins 12 games and Columbus loses 11 games, there's your 23. Columbus is out. Same thing in the West. The Blackhawks only have 31 points. They have 30 games available. That's 60 points that they can potentially earn. That's 91 points possible. The Blues and the Kings each have 58 points to get to that 90 to get to 92 points, because the Blackhawks can only score 91 points. Take that 92, subtract it from 58, 34 points. It's nice and even. 17 games, include if Chicago loses 17 games and or the Kings in St. Louis win 17 games, then the Blackhawks are out. Little Bart comes in with his little red can of spray paint and eliminates the teams. It's just simple mathematics. Graphic coming next week. All righty, friends. I'm going to bring up one more commercial break, and we finally close the book on the NFL season with the Super Bowl. It's going to be a long rant. Trust me on that one. Let's see, which one do we want to do? Let's see what video clip. Not that one. Okay, maybe not then. Didn't know which one to play. Never mind on that. I'm just going to go right into it. Super Bowl 58 is in the books. The game was played this weekend. Again, let me say thank you to everybody who watched the watch along. And I know thank you is like one of the hardest things to say for some people, but I can't just say it enough. I really, really can't. I really, really cannot say enough and say thank you to everybody who watched along, who super chatted to put this all together. Of course, I thank my family greatly for giving me the chance to do that. The final score was Kansas City 25, San Francisco 22 in overtime. I do believe it was only the second time that the Super Bowl went to overtime in the Super Bowl era. That does need to be confirmed. As far as the stats, Brock Purdy went 23 of 38 for 255 yards, 1 touchdown, sacked once for a loss of 4 yards. Patrick Mahomes went 34 of 46 for 333 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He got sacked 3 times. On the rushing side, CMC, Christian McCaffrey carried the ball for 22 times, 80 yards. No rushing touchdowns at all. On the Kansas City side, Patrick Mahomes was the lead rusher. He carried the ball 9 times and ran for 66 yards. Isaiah Pacheco carried the ball 18 times and got 59 yards. On the receiving side, CMC lead receiver, catching the ball 8 times at 80 yards, 1 touchdown, and Juwan Jennings got the other touchdown at 4 catches and 42 yards. Lead receiver, of course, was Travis Kelce, 9 receptions and 93 yards. So congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, some things that took place at the Super Bowl. Number one, there's a picture going around. There was a play where Travis Kelce did not get the ball. And it looked like he was getting in the face of Coach Andy Reid. During my play-by-play, I did say, I kind of made a little offbeat joke saying, hey, hey, Coach, why isn't he throwing me the ball? I don't know what happened on that one really, but it's what I perceived at the time. If I upset somebody about that, I will apologize about that, And so that happened. Also, the game was stopped temporarily due to apparently there were streakers. Luckily, they were not fully in the buff. Thank goodness. It was not shown on the broadcast. It is shown on social media, but that stopped the show. That caused a little bit of a delay in the game, or also a distraction during the broadcast. And now, today, of course, all the big sports media outlets are already looking forward to next season. Can Kansas City three-peat? Number one, Give it a little time to relax. Give the season time to breathe. Yesterday, of course, on social media, Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs, and his family, they got to go to Disneyland. That should be a good way to just relax, let it go, pun intended. Enjoy the moment at Disneyland. There's that. We should not be talking about the potentiality of can Kansas City three-peat for at least, I would say 2 to 3 months. Mahomes was on the Pat McAfee show today as a guest. It's like he's work, just like me, the stat boy. I'm work. I never stop. There has not been a 3-time champion in the Super Bowl era. So the Kansas City Chiefs are now trying to pull a Stone Cold in the Rumble. All the way back. They want the three-peat. Right now, if it happens, it happens. Once I look at all the things, I can make an official decision. But right now, football needs to rest, guys. It just needs to breathe. As far as the sports bar, this chapter is closed. But as every good book, a new chapter ends. The UFL, the merge between the USFL and the XFL. So football doesn't go away. It just takes a break for about 6 weeks. You don't have to worry about football right now. Yes, the NFL Combine is coming up, and before you know it, the draft comes up, and where's the number one player going to go? That's all fine and everything, but I mean, it's like, just let it breathe. Let it. You've already cooked the meal. You've already eaten the meal. Now just sit back in your chair and just enjoy the meal. Don't go back into the kitchen right now and start the next day's meal. It's not worth it, in my personal opinion anyway. I say just let it breathe, and we're focusing on the other sports, which is what we do in the sports bar. Normally, if you remember 3 years ago, took a break. That's not happening. We're going to keep going in the sports bar. So now the next big topic, of course, a lot of people are saying, it's the Swifty Bowl. Okay. I'm not anti-Taylor Swift, And just recently I found out that Travis Kelce and I have the same birthday, October 5th. They're both 34 years old. It's a good love story and all that stuff, Her reactions were genuine. She got excited in the game. She's proud of her boyfriend, But now that is over too. Travis and Taylor can focus on their lives now and not need to worry about football. They can go into their billion-dollar homes or million-dollar mansions or wherever they live, and they can just sit back and relax for a while. So that chapter is done. How the NFL is rigged. Okay, this one I really got to talk about. Come on. Do you absolutely have any proof whatsoever by saying that the NFL is rigged? No. It's not like there's secret meetings in the back room with all 32 team owners or captains or coaches or whatever. And they're going to, and then those coaches are going to go down to their players and say, do this. No, it does not work that way. At least I don't believe so. It would be just too much of, if that came out to treat football like WWE where it's predetermined, that's stretching it too much. There is a clip going out somewhere. There was a play in the fourth quarter where Patrick Mahomes scrambled and got to the line of scrimmage, which was confused for the 10-yard marker, and it went from second to first down. Okay, I need to do research on that. Of course, the problem is, or the solution might be, it was some kind of error that maybe the lines The blue line, of course, being the line of scrimmage marker, the yellow line being the first down marker, were probably in the wrong place. Then there's always people who say, oh, the refs were paid off or whatever. We say that as a joke. I don't believe that. I don't believe that there's some hidden organization of some kind paying off a referee to make a bad call. That's out of there too. Was it a good game? Absolutely. If you watched the watch along, you could see me getting out of my chair and calling the game. There you go. So this whole debacle or this whole debunkery that the NFL is fixed, it's not going to stop. People are entitled to their opinions. It's that simple. But, unless there's like proof that, there's always proof of some kind because people have knowledge in their head. They know what they're doing. They're not going to call up some hidden coach and say, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. No, that's not going to happen. There have been other scandals that I really don't talk about. So the NFL season 2023-2024 is closed. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. You've got to, and it's not all bad for the San Francisco 49ers. They are going to be defending conference champions next season. Okay, all right. One final bit of business for the week, and that is the Pick'em contest. It came down to Renegade and Emmanuel, and there it is. They each picked their own team. Renegade picked the Chiefs. Emmanuel picked the 49ers. There was no need for a tiebreaker. It was a simple whoever comes down and wins, wins. JJ picked the right team. Emmanuel didn't. So therefore, JJ is the last man standing. Out of the 8 players that were left, we went with a single-player tournament, knock each other out. However, I did not state that the games would be put towards the overall score. So I'm making it that JJ wins the playoffs. Dory Lou, of course, won the regular season. She's a 3-time champion on that. So congratulations, Renegade. Way to go. Winner of the fantasy hockey last year, and now last man standing and the playoff champion for 2023. That chapter is now closed as well, too. That will come back in August, September. That has no issues whatsoever. It's just pick a winner and all that. But next season, I'm going to dip my feet in the sports betting world. I'm figuring, hey, why not? I'm not going to go crazy with it, though. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bet the farm that the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. But there is already a future bet. In fact, I want to do a special of some kind, like Sports Betting 101. That's a possible future project for Stat Boy Sports Bar. But a future bet, of course, is you make a bet prior to the start of the season on what the outcome of the winner is going to be. That is called a future bet because you're betting on the future. And right now, literally the day after the Super Bowl, yesterday, Monday, February 12th, I believe it was ESPN Bet and FanDuel both have a plus 800, meaning 8-1 odds that the Kansas City Chiefs will, in fact, win the Super Bowl in 2024-2025. All righty, one more quick clip, and I believe this is the watch-along trailers. And then we close at the bar for the week.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Here we go again. Right now, let's go. Me and you.
Unfortunately, I didn't put the ticker at the bottom, so that's my mistake too. All righty then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's going to wrap up this episode of Stat Boy Sports Bar. Thank you again to everybody who watched in the chat rooms. Again, a lot of great things coming up. You saw the preview there. I'm very also proud to announce that in the future, there will be more watch-alongs that are sports-related. Again, I don't want to sound like the broken record. I truly am grateful to my brothers. I love them greatly. I am very happy to be part of this channel and present this stuff with you. As we still have to work out the details and, of course, the scheduling coming up. More than likely, it will be the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals, depending on the dates that happens. I'm very certain that I can, get time off from work or get earlier shifts as that happens coming up soon. Today, I just got the notification to go back to my primary job. That's going to happen on February 23rd. So I have some scheduling to do in there. Then on March 8th, I officially go back to work at season 4 for that. And my winter job is a little bit up in the air. This is just more of a personal thing. So don't know what I want to do with that. I am kind of entertaining the fact of maybe changing careers. I haven't made that decision yet, but I have to look at all as a whole. Either way, I'm very happy that the watch along was a success. And also I want to give a shout out to Noah Foster and the Raw Bowl podcast, because they both influenced and helped out in a way. Noah Foster, again, the MVP of the multiverse of media, is a great inspiration. As he and Renegade do the play-by-plays each pay-per-view, I kind of want to be like him, but not close enough. I'm nowhere on his level, none at all. He's amazing what he does. And of course, the Raw Bowl podcast with Matty Laws and El Capitan 87, they gave me the platform in the playoffs with the Detroit and Los Angeles, so they get a big shout out as well. Also, there is a shout out. This story did pop up in our chat. There is a gentleman who is from Iran. He is 100 years old. He is a centenarian. And the most fascinating thing about this gentleman, as I bring up the story, he is a diver. And even at the age of 100, he is still diving. Now, when I initially heard of this story, I was a little bit fearful of this gentleman, because when I hear the word dive, I'm thinking Olympic divers at the very high distances, the 10 meter, the 5 meter. And my immediate thought was, oh my God, that sounds so scary to have a 100-year-old gentleman dive. The videos are on social media. It's a very simple dive off of the 1 meter platform. So he's not jumping. And this is taken from CNN directly. Standing on the edge of a platform with the water rippling below, 100-year-old Taji Askari prepared to dive like he had done so many times before. The Iranian won a silver and bronze medal at the first ever Asian Game in 1951, and Askari has never lost his passion for the sport. Fast forward to 2024 and his exhibition dive at the 2024 World Championships in Doha on Friday. This was last Friday, marked 2 weeks until the World Aquatics Masters Championships, where he will be the oldest competitor. Quote, "For me, I have had a love of diving since I was a teenager until today. I have always loved diving. Nothing has changed between 1951 and now except my performance." Asghari first encountered diving at a swimming pool near his childhood home in Iran, where other children were somersaulting into the water. It ignited a lifelong love of diving for him, and he went on to win medals at the Asian Games. So on the video, of course, he stands, puts his arms out, and just properly dives into the water at 100 years old as well. Producer Jeff, hello. Let's bring you in here. Are you there, Jeff? Trying to get your microphone going here. What's that? There you are.
Sorry, hang on.
Okay. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, I need to be off camera because my shot looks like shit. All right. I apologize for my tardiness. I apologize for having you have to produce. I will explain off air.
Hey, it's okay. It went through. Everything went through. Oh, it could have been a little bit better. You know, but hey, we got through it without a problem.
Okay, good. The show over? Are we done?
Yeah, we're pretty much done. So
welcome up at Mike Night, Jeff Tardy.
Yeah, I didn't get the. I didn't find that one. Do you have it on the ready there, or do I need to bring that up?
Oh, which one?
What's coming up this weekend on Open Mic Night?
Oh, I did not load it in. Apparently, yeah. Give me a second. I will load it in. Yeah. Yeah, that was decided. Sorry. I'm still dealing with what I was dealing with. The reason I was tardy. So yeah, it was decided after the Super Bowl this last weekend during our watch along, as a matter of fact, because JJ and Dory were on screen with you and I, that our Open Mic Night original theme for this coming weekend was to be Clash of the Couples, a Valentine's theme in the vein of Newlywed Game, but with established couples. Mm-hmm. However, I could not get a proper commitment from the couples that we wanted to have be involved. So I thought, okay, well, we'll just scrap it. It's better just to scrap it, have a quote unquote traditional open mic night. Not a big deal. It'll be my first show back in a few weeks. So it'll be what it'll be. However, we were kind of going off the cuff and just, literally brainstorming live as it happened. And we came up with a suggestion that is going to be the bane of Noah Foster's existence. And we have decided that we are going to do Open Mic Night karaoke theme, Taylor Swift version, Saturday night, 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific. That'll be across the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media, as is every episode of Open Mic Night. So be ready, be there, be square. To the Kansas City Chiefs, I say this about this Saturday show. Look what you made me do. Look what anyway, I digress. I'm digressing, even though we're not digressing on this channel anymore.
Exactly. Well, much to the chagrin of the Multiverse of Media, I'm going to be square on this one because I only know one song and someone else is going to sing it better than me.
But that's okay, because we will. What we can do is we can if actually people will show up on time for the pre-show meeting. Hint out there to the universe, multiverse. We can find out. Okay, I know this song. I know that song, and we can make sure that if the wheel lands on that song, we defer to that person. That way, we're not having people sitting there going over the awesome set of Taylor Swift's discography. So. There will be no excuse if you know one song.
And if Noah Foster kills you all, I'm sorry in advance.
Hey, you know what? We got to see Taylor Swift lead her Kansas City Chiefs to Super Bowl and victory, so I'm okay with dying this weekend. It'll be okay.
Indeed. All righty then. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen, be kind to each other, love each other, be respectful of each other. I love you all as always. Until then, be cool. Stat Boy out.